Hello there, guys. Welcome back to Younes Talks Football. Djurgarden, Jurassic Park, whatever you want to say. 1, Chelsea 4 in this European semi-final. I mean, it's exactly like I said in the preview yesterday, isn't it? I mean, we saw what we saw yesterday. And then we see what we see today. And it's ended well. Don't get me wrong. It's ended well. Good result. We're in the final. Unless an absolute calamity happens in the second leg, which I'm pretty sure it won't. So I'd say we're in the final. And there are a couple of good things that I have to say about this game, unlike prior matches where I want to say about a certain player, which I'll get to. But all in all, we can only do what we can do. It looks like we're heading to a final. Happy days. Now, I was going to give you a watch-along for this. I had it all prepped, and as you can see, like, with I had graphics ready and all sorts. I'm still quite bunged up, and I'm like, I just couldn't be able to maintain without having to go and blow my nose or sneeze. So, yeah, that wasn't happening. But keep your eyes peeled for the Liverpool game this weekend, where things get serious, right, in terms of level, unlike today. Or maybe we play a drunk Liverpool. Maybe we do play a absolutely intoxicated and hungover Liverpool side, which would absolutely help our chances, without question. There will be a watch-along for that. Make sure you guys are here. So that's that. Djurgarden Zoo Animal Farm 1, Chelsea 4. And straightforward day at the office, if I'm being completely honest. Straightforward day. I expected a little bit more issues in terms of the pitch, in terms of playing on AstroTurf. 4G, if you've played on 4G, ball can bounce like crazy. I like 4G, personally. I like 4G. But you have to look at it in context of professional footballers of this level. They're only playing on grass. The last time they probably played on 4G was when they were maybe playing academy football, which for some of us wasn't long ago. But you get the gist. I thought it'd be a little bit more of an issue. But nah, we're moving the ball well. There wasn't any crazy, really like put off passes or things being over here or under here or ball bouncing everywhere. Like there wasn't really much of that. Things looked under control. Djurgarden, I have to say, didn't bring a really good level. I thought they'd be a little bit more competitive. I mean, you got to a semi-final. They beat Legia Warsaw. You know, they beat Rapid Vienna. I was looking at their history, this conference league, and I was like, their results. And I was like, oh, they might actually be somewhat decent. Yeah, they weren't. They were making mistakes left, right, and centre. In terms of their goals, anyway, the goals that they conceded. The first goal, for example, I mean, is that an own goal? I'd give it's Sancho. For me, it's Sancho. It's Sancho's goal. But you get the gist in terms of how chaotic that defending was. But was a good finish. Sancho looked very comfortable today. He's kind of one of the players that I want to give praise to. Looked very, very comfortable on that left-hand side. Just timing himself pretty well. And I managed to get on the score sheet. So good to see. Good to see that he took a shot. And it paid off. Even though the defender didn't know what he was doing, he went in the net with the ball. But there's that. Madueke, with his goal, very straight. I wouldn't say straightforward move. It was a good move, straightforward finish. Not much pressure. Found the time to placed it. 2-0. Good goal. We were running away with the game at this point. At this point, we're running away with it. It's as simple as that. This is where we scored the second goal. I was like, yeah, we're playing the final. We're playing the final. How can we not at this point? But the player I want to give praise to, despite it being against Djurgarden, is Nico Jackson. Because Nico Jackson scored 2 goals today. That it doesn't matter who the opposition is. He done exactly the correct thing in those moments and used his brain. He used his brain. This is where I differentiate, and I like to offer praise in moments where I can see that the player has used intelligence and used his brain. I love players are able to use their brain, right? And for so long, I'm like, yo, Jackson, use your head. Are you not using your head? Like, it just doesn't look like he uses his head, you know? I say this. I got this from my dad. There's players that play with their legs and there's players that play with their brains. There's a difference. You can tell who just runs about and uses their legs and they don't think, they just try and execute. And then there's players that know exactly what to do, how to think in every moment. And Jackson showed 2 signs of very, very good striker intelligence. Striker intelligence. The first one was the first one where he nicked it off the goalkeeper. Yeah, it was. It was. That goalkeeper, by the way, I don't know what he was waiting for. Was he waiting for the bus to arrive? But as a goalkeeper, you need to throw yourself into the ball. You can't be doing this, waiting for the ball to come to your hands. I mean, that is what he did. And Jackson saw that. Jackson managed to get just in front of the defender, saw the lack of communication between the defender and the goalkeeper, and managed to stick his leg into the midst of it and drag it. That's something you got to think of. And it's absolutely correct. There is no other solution in that moment than to drag the ball to yourself. Pull it, which is not easy to do. This is why I'm offering praise. That's not easy to do, regardless of who the opponent is. This could have been Alisson and Van Dijk, I hope, on Sunday. But you get what I'm saying. That's not easy. He managed to pull it away from the defender and the goalkeeper, in between the space that was in between them, into his path. And he stretched for it. This isn't like it was right next to him. He stretched for it and managed to pull out and execute the move. Ran with it, tapped it in. Good goal. So I was happy with that. I saw that, I was like, yo, okay. Minutes later, 6 minutes later to be exact, another sign of intelligence. On the edge of the box, he doesn't just tap the ball onto his left foot, away from the defender. He's with the ball, he sees the defender, he rolls the ball onto his left foot. Rolls it. That created a little bit of a bounce. The exact amount of bounce that you need and that you can only do if you actually try and roll the ball, right? A little bit of bounce, he managed to get it. Basically, if you want to just call it as it is, he kind of got it on a half volley. The ball wasn't on the ground, it was a little bit lifted. And when that happens, you get a full hit on the ball. And that's where you feel it. You feel the connection. Top bins. That's the striker instinct that I'm talking about, that I need to see in a striker. You know, and again, I get it's against Djurgarden, but again, this could have been against anyone else. It would have been the same outcome. Because in that moment, on the ball, he done the exact right thing with the amount of time that was needed. As quickly as possible too. Rolled it, boom, smack, top bins. You could have done that against anyone. So, respect. Respect to Nico Jackson. Very, very good performance, very, very good goal. And I'm glad to see it. I'm glad to see it. That sums it up 4-1 on the night. After that, it was all plain sailing, really. We managed to get Reggie Walsh on, big up, academy boy, coming on for Tyreek George, who I also want to offer praise to tonight. I thought Tyreek George had a bright game. So very, 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 very good game overall from him. Again, it's Djurgarden, I get it, but for what it was worth, we saw good performances today. Caicedo, I thought, was actually, he helped Jackson a lot. He was running with the ball in between players. He was intercepting, giving it to Jackson. He was doing all sorts, Caicedo, in that role when he came on. So big up to him as well. Brought a lot of intensity. Intensity he didn't need to bring, but he did. So fair play to him. So yeah. 4-1, we get back to the bridge. This is going to be light work. It's going to be light work, right? And it's given us a little bit of flexibility going into the second leg. And why? Because I'm about to explain something to you which is going to make a lot of sense. First and foremost, the other semi-final finished Real Betis 2, Fiorentina 1. Still tight. Real Betis were winning 2-0. And it finished 2-1. So Fiorentina are still in the tie. It's still looking likely that we're going to play Real Betis, but they did play in Spain. We're not going to know what they're going to do in Italy. Maybe Fiorentina win 2-0 in Italy. Who knows? But we'll see who it's going to be. But we will be playing. We will be going to Poland and playing this final. And look, I do not like today. Like I said, with yesterday's game that we saw in the Champions League, and then we see this. I mean, understandably, we had a decent night, but the level of the game overall was just like it's night and day compared to yesterday. I don't want to see this again. Like I said yesterday, I don't want to see this again, man. Let us get to the final. Let us win this competition, and I don't want us to see us competing in this ever again. Simple. Yeah. Even the Europa League should be bad enough. Should be. And I say that because in the Europa League semi-finals, it finished Athletic Bilbao 0, Man United 3. They're playing the final. The other game, Tottenham 3, Bodo Glimt 1. Unless Tottenham capitulate in a way that we know Tottenham can, I expect, like I said before, and it seems like I'm getting it right. I said there will be a Man United Tottenham final, and it's looking like it's heading there. The fact that we actually have a Europa League final with Man United and Tottenham, with the seasons that those two clubs are having in the Premier League, is a shambles. It's a shambles. How is it? What, are Tottenham 17th or they're 16th? Somewhere there. They're 17th now, aren't they? Well, actually, I can check because there's a Premier League game to talk about too. Yeah, Tottenham are 16th, Man United are 14th. Those are the Europa League finalists. Do me a favour. It's one of those teams are going to be playing Champions League football next season. 14th and 16th, one of them's playing Champions League next season. Oh my God, get me out of here. Get me out of here. And we're not. Well, I say we're not, but something happened tonight. Brentford. If I could, I would. I'd buy you dinner. Yeah, I'd buy Brentford dinner. Our West London neighbours down the road, much appreciated, lads. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for beating Nottingham Forest 2-0 at Forest. Forest are now sitting in 6th. Chelsea are in 5th. Newcastle in 3rd, Man City in 4th. Chelsea and Forest are level on points. We still have to play Forest. It's all going to come down. Look, Sunday we got Liverpool. The preview for that will be on Saturday. Make sure you guys are here for that too. Like I said, watch along on Sunday too. We've still got to play Forest. And in between that, we got Newcastle and we got Man United. This is going to get... If we get a result against Liverpool, it's back on. It's back on. But if we don't... You see how they it's the hope that kills you. You know, they kill it and then they give you something small like, no, there's a chance, right? And then it gets taken away. Another dagger straight through the heart. Yeah. Oh, what do we go through? What do we put ourselves through? Oh, bloody hell. Anyway, Forest have lost. I didn't expect them to. I thought they'd beat Brentford at home. This is where I'm like, okay, that's a result that does help our situation. We'll see what happens. But let me know your thoughts down below overall on tonight's game and with everything else that happened elsewhere in the Europa League and with Nottingham Forest losing to Brentford. Let me know your thoughts all down below. Much appreciated. And I will see all of you tomorrow for a double. Yes, you're getting 2 videos tomorrow. Double upload. See you then. Subscribe, notification bell on, and I'll catch you there. Look after yourselves, people. Take care and peace.